I had become absolutely obsessed with the beautiful and seamless blend of mythology in the screenplay of the engaging thriller Vikram Vedha. There was something fascinating about the writing of the duo Pushkar Gayatri that engaged you, especially for their keen eye towards highlighting moral ambiguity. Convincing you that from the surface the characters of Vikram and Veda might represent individuals from opposite ends of the spectrum, but a deeper analysis will make you believe that there isn't much difference in what they stand for. When Suzhal, an 8-episode Tamil crime thriller series, was launched on Amazon Prime Video, I only tuned in to see what the writing duo had conjured up this time, handing over the directorial reins in this case to Brahma and Anucharan. The 8-episode series expands upon a missing case of a minor that takes place simultaneously as a factory that employs a large portion of the population of Sambalur gets destroyed due to a possible case of arson. Set in the backdrop of the festival Mayan Kollai, the case of the missing child and the burning factory gets murkier, exposing the ulterior motives of several individuals only for the sub-inspector in charge of the case, Sakarai, played by Kathir, to get to the bottom of it all. There are several subplots that develop over the course of the 8 episodes, interspersing their way through and having a connection with what may lead to the probable culprits, without getting overwhelming in terms of being information dense. I was hooked and became absolutely glued into this series storyline, leading to me binging all 8 episodes in one day. Getting right into why so, here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of this series so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it on Amazon Prime Video or not. The underwhelming aspects. Minor setbacks in storytelling. There are slight hiccups in the journey of Suzhal, but they aren't jarring enough to completely take away from the engaging and exceptional storytelling. It's still important to point out and connect with one another, or where one felt that the screenplay faltered just a tad bit. The late actor Yusuf Hussain is a legend in his own right, contributing several years to various industries across India. Playing the role of the owner of the factory, I felt his dubbing was slightly incoherent and misplaced. I understand that it may have been done recently and hence the setback, but it became evidently clear as the delivery would often visibly end but the sound would carry on. The series definitely takes time to fully take off, so you will feel a sense of warm-up in the first few episodes where the town, the people and the relationships and dynamics they share are getting explored. What I can wholeheartedly say is that the series goes in full gear post the 3rd episode, as you get an idea of the personalities in this world. Slowly and steadily, the screenplay peels off like layers of an onion, leaving you with cliffhangers wanting to tune into the next episode immediately. The series probably can be criticized to be predictable in regards to the motivation of certain characters. Attention is placed on them who are visibly boisterous, being almost too obvious of targets. You intrinsically understand that this is just a way to distract you. The show uses this tactic actually beautifully, swaying you in a back and forth way, making you doubt the motivations of every single character that you may have given a clean chit to. I can wholeheartedly say though, I just did not expect the climax to develop the way it did. The good. Themes and parallels. I had briefly expanded upon the clever nature with which Pushkar and Gayatri assimilate mythological elements in stories that are set in the modern era. And Suzhal is a prime example of exactly acing that. While say with a movie like Vikram Vedha, they expand on the same by Veda's storytelling, in Suzhal the modern day characters act in unison with the celebration of the festival of Mayan Kollai. The case of the missing child and burning factory expands as soothsayers and individuals possessed by the gods dancing in a trance foreshadow unfortunate events that may take place ahead. The characters of Sakarai, played by Kathir, and Nandini, played by Aishwarya Rajesh, are spearheading the case, taking the shape of Pavadaraya and Angala Parmeshwari from the Dravidian festival. This beautifully shapes up the screenplay of the film, sometimes with impressive imagery and for the most part, just a case of adept writing. One's beliefs and how they range drastically even among individuals living in close proximity to one another, and how their entire moral fabric comes into question the moment that foundation is questioned or simply breaks down. I know I'm mostly speaking in hyperbole and not getting into specifics, but for those who have already experienced this journey will exactly know what I'm talking about. Cinematography and music. The series especially stands out due to its technical prowess. Cinematographer Mukeshwaran and the music composed by Sam CS have a lasting impact in enhancing the quality of the show. The series has deep saturated colors that are primarily enhanced through practical effects. If you go through some of the lengths that the technical department has gone through just to light up a scene in a real location, you don't get shocked by the fact that this series took 2 years to film. The portrayal of the festival side by side as the case further develops really does give you a feeling that you are in the thick of things, even making the town of Sambalur a character in this storyline. Sam CS, who absolutely engrossed us with his work in Vikram Vedha, really does leave his mark in this series. If the title track was not enough, fitting perfectly with the themes of the festival and the intensity that expands and increases tenfold as motivations get exposed. There is a beautiful synergy that exists between the writing duo and the music director that any collaborative artist will dream of. The cast. The best part of this series in my eyes is, despite having several characters to expand upon and provide us a glimpse of their dynamic and personalities, the series never really gets bogged down in communicating too much information to the point of being exhausting. Even more so, the fact that the series boasts of such convincing performances, the symbolic relationship between effective acting and precision in writing really is a marriage worth spending your time on. You have such a vast variety of characters. R. Parthiban as Shanmugan, the leader of the labor union, stoic, clear and resolute in his motive. You've got Shreya Reddy as Regina, the inspector in charge, who has personal stakes in the case. She is one of the most badass portrayals I've seen by a formidable female lead. No posturing or false narratives, but pragmatic in her approach. Fearless in an occupation dominated by men. Her rough exterior that often gets challenged really account for some of the most impressive acting sequences. Gopika Ramesh as Nilla, Harish Uttaman as Trilok, FJ as Adishayam really put forth resolute performances from the supporting cast. The surprise performance by Santhan Bharti as the insurance officer is the icing on the cake, but it's definitely the duo of Kathir and Aishwarya Rajesh that leave a lasting impression. Ever since Periram Perumal, I have loved this man and his conviction with his roles, and he knocks it out of the park yet again, as does Aishwarya, an actor who rarely misses the mark and in my eyes is often ignored by commercial Tamil cinema. Tamil film fans can chime in on why this is the case, because I think she is a really strong performer. Moral ambiguity. The strength of the writing duo of Pushkar and Gayatri is how they portray humans not to be black or white, but a spectrum. Regarded as good in their own right, but their moral compass often comes to question when they are made to deal with dicey and thorny situations. The series really does make you point fingers at several characters, making you assume you have them figured out, just by their demeanor and how they present themselves externally. And the creators beautifully tarnish those very same assumptions, making your hypothesis of several characters absolutely bogus and based on a faulty foundation. Don't judge a book by its cover is the precursor to watch this series, making me only excited if Pushkar Gayatri expand this universe to see what Sakurai has to crack in terms of cases in the future. Their recent interview on Vikram Vedha also has me excited, because they aren't just creators who are going to package the same story the same way and expect fireworks. Here's only hoping for season 2 of Cyril and the Vikram Vedha venture to be a surprise package we least expected. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about this series. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.